Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah, kol yimla Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Aqua that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. Real quick. Just wanted to touch on this subject of Genesis, formerly of Sakari, talking about, Gentiles can be saved and they're going to be on the level of the Israelites. And that's just not true. And just to just put it simple and plain, you can't have a master without a slave, so to speak. You can't have up without down. You can't have wet without dry. You can't have empty without full. You can't. All those things would be, matter of fact, you know what? Let me jump. It would be an abomination to the Lord, Yahweh. That's the true name of the Father, Yahweh. And the true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh meaning He exists, or the existing one. And the true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which the world eagerly calls Jesus. His name is Yahweh Shai, which means He's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. So when the Lord comes, He's going to rule. You can't rule unless you have people to rule over. It's really very simple, So them talking about everybody can be saved as if everybody is going to be on the same level. That's not true. It can't work that way because the Lord changed not. That would be an abomination to the Lord. Matter of fact, this is Proverbs 11:1. Right? It's a few different translations. I'm just going to read it in the KJV. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight. So it would be a false balance to just having everybody just on the same level. That's never been. Throughout the history of time, there's always been someone above and someone below. You can't name not one time period or one kingdom where everybody was just on the same level. No one is on the same level as the king. You have a king and you have people that's his subjects. It's always been that way. So someone has to be subjects when the Lord comes to rule. It's that simple. Like, who you going to rule over? The scriptures clearly says that the Lord is coming to rule. He's coming to take the crowns off of the heads of these statesmen, so to speak, or these nations. They're going to be under Him. That's perfect balance. So the children of Israel, it's just like right now, the Edomites. You call them so-called white people. They're over us. This is their kingdom. They're writing the laws. They're making the statutes, and they got their own little commandments, so to speak, that we have to fall into. If we don't, guess what? You go to jail. In some cases you can be put to death. So He's in His kingdom. We have to follow their rules. You're not. Who you think came up with stopping at a stop sign? Who you think came up with you can't run a red light? Who you think came up with, all these, he has his system, he has his kingdom, he has his laws. If you don't pay child support, what do? And it's not probably actually a law, probably a code or something like that from, what the beloved elder Malcolm in Chicago says, you know what I'm saying? But he does have the power to say, all right, well, we're going to garnish his check. We're going to take money from his check. Whatever he owes, we're going to, he could throw you in jail if you don't, have that proper amount of money for child support. That's his law. He's ruling. He's ruling. Even when so-called Obama was in office, Obama, even though he's a damn heathen, he's not one of us, but he was still running and ruling off of so-called white people's laws, right? So again, it says, a false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is His delight, right? So a just weight is you can't have a slave without a master. You can't have a master without a slave. Somebody got to do the work. You can't have an employee without an employer, basically. So let me go back to this one. And, just a real simple cut to what these people are talking about, man. I'm going to start at verse 13 in this. Now, this is Sirach 33 and 13. The point is going to be in verse 15. It says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh them best. So the Lord is the one he created everything, and he created everybody to do what he wants to do. That's why he has a vessel of honor. He has a vessel of dishonor when you go into Romans chapter 9, right? So it says, good is set against evil and life against death. That's a perfect balance. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. You can't have a sinner without a godly person. You can't have good without evil. That's a perfect balance. Here's the point right here. So look upon all the works of the Most High, right? Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, Yahweh. And there are two and two, one against another. So you can't have a master without a slave. You can't have a slave without a master. You can't have up without down. You can't have fast without slow. You can't have full without empty. You can't have negative without positive. Everything that you can think of, there's an absolute opposite to it. Because the Lord is a complete balance. It's an abomination to the Lord to not have, to just have a king and everybody's damn kings. There's a order to it. It's like when you read about where the Lord he has the man over the household, right? The man, then you have the woman, then you have the children. That's the order. But see, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he has the woman. That's a complete opposite. She's in charge, and that's the reason why a lot of these kids are out of hand. He has run the men out of the homes because that balance is gone. You need that balance for these children to be stable. And actually, you need the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because the Lord said to train up a child in the way he should go. And you train them through the scriptures. But that's not in the home anymore. You got people that's, it's basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was in Walmart yesterday. I seen some kid. That fucking boy was too goddamn old to be crying the way he was crying. That motherfucker was like 9 years old, bailing out, for some shit that he couldn't get. And now, mind you, the mother and father was there. The dad, he was walking. As a matter of fact, there was Ishmaelites. They appeared to be Ishmaelites or Arabs. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you ain't gonna shut this motherfucker up? This nigga is bawling, crying at that age in Walmart with all these people looking like, man, tell that little motherfucker to shut the fuck up. I'm looking at this guy like the despair on his face. I'm just looking like, yeah, he's done. He's an American. Because that little boy in their country, wherever they're from, he wouldn't have never been able to pull that shit. He wouldn't be doing that American crybaby shit. I'm talking about this dude was like, this little boy was like, fuck, he wasn't like no 2 or 3 year old, no 4 or 5 year old. No, this little motherfucker was damn near my height. I know he had to been like 9, 10 years old. He's crying, literally bailing out. What the fuck is going on? But anyway, man, I just wanted to just touch on this before, a little pre-camp lesson. That these Genesis guys are going off when they're telling you that everybody is going to be on a level, man. No, everybody is not going to be on a level. The Lord didn't create things like that, man. That's disorder. To have a ruler and everybody on the same level as the ruler. That don't make no sense. Who are you ruling over if you're the ruler? When Yahushua comes, he's going to be a ruler. His people are going to rule. So who somebody got to be ruled over. Like, what the fuck is these dudes talking about, man? So I'm going to end out there, man. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. With that, shalom.